Alone, we can only do so much. But together, progress is boundless. Together, we provide training and resources to people and communities, growing local economies, supporting education, and promoting peace. Together, we help those who need us the most, preventing diseases, providing clean water, sanitation and hygiene, and supporting mothers and their children. Together, we make a difference. And it is all thanks to you. As Rotary members, we challenge ourselves to do better, only looking back to see how far we have come. Last year, more than $430 million was contributed to the Rotary Foundation. Because of you, over 1,190 global grants, 470 district grants, and 225 disaster response grants were funded. And over $15 million was donated to support refugees from Ukraine. Thank you for supporting the Rotary Foundation and all you do on behalf of others. Because of you, together we can do even more good.
I want to welcome everyone to the Foundation Boot Camp meeting tonight. We are really glad to have you here. So tonight is our boot camp, and while we don't expect you to need to be physically engaged, we do hope that we can touch on the key elements of the foundation. Our boot camp was designed based on some feedback that we received from the District Rotary Foundation coordinators. So we know we won't get to everything. We can't tell you everything, of course, about the foundation in an hour, but hopefully we'll touch on some of the main items that you're interested in. I want to start by highlighting the leadership training seminar that's in Jacksonville on June 24th and 25th. It's at the DoubleTree Hilton in Jacksonville Riverfront. And this particular boot camp is a precursor to the training seminar in Jacksonville. The idea is to make sure that everyone has a good core of information, and we'll be building on this information in Jacksonville. Just to give you a little bit more information about the event, it is, of course, going to be hosted by the zone coordinators. Barry Rassin is our key guest, and Sandra Schenk will be with us as well. Some of you may have seen her at one of the zone meetings. She is going to be giving a very moving talk about her Rotary experience. We have several breakouts coming during the session. We will have one that I want to point out in particular because we'll be asking for your feedback on the foundation action plan. You may be aware that we've done a membership action plan all this year, and next year we'll be focused on the foundation and how we can do some things better. We'll be talking about the areas that are going well, the ones that we've started to do well, but we need to focus a little bit more, and the things that I would call the more thorny issues that we really need to work on. We do have a session on the endowment that will be a breakout session in Jacksonville. It will give you much more information about the endowment. And we also have a session on polio that will give you information about the new detailed contribution report that includes polio. So at this point, I'd like for us to get into our camp topics. The first topic is the DRFC role and building an effective district foundation team. And presenting this topic is past District Governor Jeanette Loftus. She is an incoming Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator. So please congratulate Jeanette on that. And PDG Rich Kirshner, who is also an Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator, he will be continuing for the next year. So thank you, Rich and Jeanette. And You take it away.
All righty, good evening, everyone. Can I ask for the slide to be advanced, please? All righty, so Rich and I will be covering the responsibilities and the roles of District Rotary Foundation Chair. As chair of the Foundation Committee, you commit to leading a team of dedicated members who work together with the governor to educate, motivate, and inspire others to participate in our Rotary Foundation. The chair's term is for 3 years, and that's done in order to provide leadership continuity for foundation fundraising and grant activities. Some of your responsibilities include promoting the Rotary Foundation to members by encouraging clubs to have a minimum of 1, but preferably 2 Rotary Foundation programs per year, and assisting club leaders with setting and inputting their foundation goals in Rotary Club Central. You will also work with your committees to encourage foundation fundraising and participation at a variety of levels, including identifying and helping to solicit major donors, supporting fundraising initiatives, and ensuring, most importantly, that donors receive the appropriate level of acknowledgement and thanks. One of your primary responsibilities is overseeing the district and global grant process in your district, which includes deciding the best way in which to utilize district grant funds, otherwise known as DDF, in order that we may do good in our communities and around the world, while determining the qualification process in which to do so. Working with the district governor, you will also help to plan and conduct foundation learning opportunities for your members, including grant management seminars and foundation information sessions, such as district training assemblies, foundation seminars, or vibrant club seminars. There are also several foundation awards that you should be aware of that are available to members who go above and beyond in supporting and carrying out the mission of the Rotary Foundation. You will collaborate with your district governor to determine who are best suited to be nominated for those awards. Now for the good news. You are not in this alone. Rich, over to you.
Thank you, Jeanette. The District Rotary Foundation Committee is the connection among the Rotary Foundation, its members, and really the public as well. And this committee's strong leadership is essential to educating clubs about the foundation and inspiring them to support its programs and fundraising activities. Building an effective team will help your district succeed. It is important that each foundation committee member develop a thorough knowledge of the foundation's programs and its activities. And all members of a district Rotary Foundation committee are encouraged to attend a regional Rotary Foundation seminar conducted by a regional Rotary Foundation coordinator. And we welcome all of you to Jacksonville this June, the 24th and 25th, for our next seminar. We are here to help. So the Rotary Foundation subcommittees, they support grants, programs, and fundraising. I'm going to put up a couple of these now. There we go. And they, excuse me, and all of them, in consultation with the district governor and the foundation chair, work together to encourage committees to put on a program for the total year that is ahead. Now, when searching for team members on these particular committees, it's good to engage your club presidents, your assistant governors, to recruit interested and dedicated committee members who will bring energy, new ideas, and strong leadership to the group, and that will continue as your team continues to grow. Some of the committees that are recommended that you see on the left and also on the right are committees that Rotary has asked us to, let me back up a little bit. There we go. Has asked us to use in trying to organize a well-rounded team for your district. Some of your districts may or may not have an international service committee member or chair. In some districts, the international service chair is also the global grants chair. We want you to organize as best as possible, but the work that is done is really the groups that are also on the right-hand side, such as your annual fund chair and your Paul Harris Society chair. Some of the districts use these subcommittees to help promote the foundation to all the members, and each of them is an important part of a comprehensive work that brings clubs and partners together and encourages the financial support of the foundation. I want to remind you that it is important to find wonderful people who can help you do the job, and do not find yourself doing it alone. So at this point, Jeanette, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Speaking of not doing it alone, you have so many resources at your disposal. In addition to your regional Rotary Foundation team, many of whom are here with us this evening, the staff at the Rotary Foundation will be a tremendous resource to you. They include your regional grants officer, Renee Reeling, annual giving officer, Katie Leisner, major gift officer, Deborah Lowe. Both Katie and Deborah are with us tonight, and we'll hear from them in a little bit. Your district governor or DGE will report district appointments in myrotary.org, which will provide your committee chairs access to pertinent information in order for them to complete their role and best assist you. And we would need to remind the club presidents and secretaries that they should assign a Club Rotary Foundation chair in MyRotary as well, to ensure their foundation chair has access to that information at the club level. If you haven't realized it already, MyRotary gives you and your team a plethora of resources and access to a variety of information. You'll find helpful reports and forms, including contribution, share, and Polio Plus reports, which Katie will review in greater detail. Rotary Club Central is where you and your club leaders will input their goals, and you'll have the ability to monitor club and district progress throughout the year. District and global grants are the driving force behind our club and district's ability to do good in the world. The Grants Center allows you to apply for and review district and global grants, monitor progress, and review project reporting for your district grant activity. This is also where the DRFC, District Rotary Foundation Chair, District Governor, and DGE will go each year to qualify to apply for grants. It's a qualification process. To ensure that you stay up to date on the latest and greatest happenings of the Rotary Foundation, I encourage you to subscribe to some newsletters, such as End Polio Now, Giving in Grants, and Rotary Service, just to name a few. And I know we all love our Rotary Bling, so visit the Member Center Awards and Donor Recognition page, which will provide a summary of recognition levels and awards to honor Rotary members and clubs that are creating positive change through their generosity and time and money. If you're looking for foundation logos or need to create an event brochure, you will find several customizable templates in the Rotary Brand Center. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not put in a plug for the Learning Center, which contains several courses for you, your team members, and club and district leaders on a variety of topics, not only on the foundation, but on a bunch of other stuff. So I would encourage you all to go to the Learning Center for some additional resources. And now, Rich, back over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Jeanette. In summary, we want to also remind you that it's important to include Rotaractors in all of your committees, and that is a new and wonderful part of our new Rotary family. Get them involved. You will get some energy you have not had before. So in summary, your committee educates clubs and potential donors about the importance of the foundation and to inspire them to support its programs and fundraising activities. As you can see here, you can inspire giving and other participation by telling stories about how donations support local and international efforts. All of this requires planning and organization and continuity. Remember to encourage your local clubs to appoint a foundation chair and challenge your clubs to promote the foundation in new and exciting ways. Using the Learning Center, as Jeanette has already said in my Rotary, can assist your club foundation chairs to gain valuable knowledge about the goals and projects of the foundation, which can enhance your Rotary experience of all our members and bring peace and understanding to the world, and gives them the tools to do so. All of this is what we need to do. We can do it together, but we must plan and we must share the workload. So now with that, I'm going to introduce you to, I'm going to back up a little bit. We went too far. I want to introduce you to our annual giving officer for our zone, Katie Leisner. Katie?
That's me. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Leisner. It rhymes with Neisner, which is not a word. I'm the annual giving officer for zones 33 and 34. I'm based out of one Rotary Center in Evanston, but I spend most of my time working from my home office in Chicago. As an AGO, I support zone and district leaders as their clubs raise funds for the Rotary Foundation. I'm going to aim to show you 3 useful reports on myrotary.org that can help you in your leadership roles. Today, I'm going to focus on reports for your clubs, but if you're interested, if you're an incoming district leader and want to talk about your fundraising plan, please reach out to me separately. I'm adding my full contact information in chats twice, apparently. So that's how you can find me. Looking forward to talking to you. Okay, so locating foundation reports. I hope that all of you have personal accounts at myrotary.org. And I'm guessing that some of you have done this before. Let's start at the beginning and take a moment to look at how to locate reports available through My Rotary. When you log in to My Rotary account, hover and don't click on foundation reports. Ooh, look at that. And then the foundation reports drop down will become available right there. And as once you click on that, you will see take you to the reports page. To get to the fundraising reports for your club and district, then you'll scroll down to the contributions and recognition section under the club reports category. Before we get deeper into our reports, I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about quick links. The clear star next to reports indicate that the category can be added to your quick links. Click on the star and add your quick links. Whoop, right there. The star will turn purple and the category will now be available on your landing page once you sign in the upper right hand corner of the page under quick links. It'll look like this. Oh, too much. Okay. The effect is not immediate, but you'll see this in your report next time you log on to the site. Okay. Here is an image of club contribution and recognition reports section of Rotary reports. I've circled the ones we're going to talk about today. There are many useful reports I'm not going to get into. I'll encourage you to review them in your own time. They'll be valuable resources to assist you in your new roles. Okay, to begin, the year-to-date snapshot of your club at the Rotary Foundation. We'll look at the club fundraising analysis. Sandra, I picked on your club. I hope you don't mind. This report is a good place for any leader to track club goals and contribution totals throughout the year. You'll see a 5-year dashboard of district giving at the top. And in addition to down the side, you'll see club contribution totals and recognition totals. You can use these figures for the past 5 years to understand what realistic goal setting could look like for the future. Next up, I have the monthly contribution report. This is another source for high-level information of your club's giving amounts. It's an easy dashboard-like way to see a breakdown of fundraising based on fund categories. You can see that includes the annual fund, other funds, which is Polio Plus, and gifts to directly to global grants, or the endowment fund. And you see here, because I ran the report for the whole district, you can also compare it to other clubs. Moving on. We have the club recognition summary. This includes a wealth of information about the clubs and the donors in them. It shows how donors are recognized in many ways, including the amount of group members, benefactors, members of the Bequest Society, as well as the all-time giving for the clubs in the box across the top. The primary function of this report is to show how many foundation recognition points are available to each member of the club, as well as how many foundation reports are, like, so we have the club here, and each member has their own line. Two ways that this could be useful to help with leadership and fundraising goals is looking at the last contribution section. It shows you the dates that each Rotary member, whose information is blocked here, made their last transaction. You see, this is an old report, not people who don't donate. And this will be useful, as you may be aware, our trustee chair-elect Barry Rassin, who will be at the coming event, has set aggressive organization-wide fundraising goal and encouraged each member to donate to the Rotary Foundation this coming year. So you can use this report to identify the date that each of your members made their last donation. Also, if you want to have a club donation campaign, look to see if anyone in your club is willing to donate points to participants. Don't forget that PHF plus 8, gee golly, is the highest amount you can get. So those donors might be willing to work with you in such a campaign. All right, so we see the reports. Let's review how to export our reports. There are 3 things to do. Use this sorting feature to make sure you have data sorted the manner that you like. Then once you've run the reports, click on the export icon near the top of the screen shown here. It looks like a square and an arrow. Then when you do, you'll see this pop-up screen, and I want you to choose the option type of Excel. There'll be 2 Excel choices. Pick the one that's best for your computer. Once you've made the choice, select OK. You have the option to export to PDF, but this doesn't work for all the reports. So take a chance to experiment what works best for you. And as Jeanette and Rich mentioned in their last report, the Learning Center is an excellent place to learn more about fundraising, your roles, Rotary, and more. So take a look at that if you're looking for more information. And in addition to the reports that you see on myrotary.org or in Support Center, there are other reports that staff like me have access to internally that can assist you in implementing various strategies of giving in your districts. This slide here is one example of a few strategies and reports associated with them. I'm happy to assist you with that if you need it. And, oh, golly. Before we move on to some, remember that you have access to sensitive reports. So please note that this access is entrusted to you. And I'm so sorry. We ask that you only share this information to committee members on an as-need basis. And once you're finished with its data, please delete or shred the information. Thank you for your support and all you do to help with fundraising and Rotary. Can't say thank you enough. And thank you to Tina as you continue.
Thank you, Katie. We appreciate all that you do and everyone does up at RI to support us here at the zone level and the district level. So good evening, everyone. We know that engaging in projects is the core of what we do as Rotarians. In your role as the Rotary District Foundation Coordinator or an incoming district leader, It is important to guide your clubs as they cultivate effective projects to create a sustainable impact. Managing global grants and the Rotary Foundation funding, as well as developing and promoting grant partnerships, are all crucial in this process. So let's get started here. This next slide is kind of busy. It's a flow chart. And so basically it's how you get started, the important pieces to be successful, finding those important resources in Rotary and other organizations, implementing your project in Rotary. Are all the plans in place for your project? Promoting and sharing your project. We must tell our stories. Do not forget about Rotary Showcase. Oop, I went too far as well. Okay, so the next thing is how to improve your global grant application. And there are basically 10 steps, and this is just the short list. It provides a very categorized detail of the basic requirements of a global grant, such as implementation of your plan, your budget, sustainability, components such as training, measurement, evaluation, and the MOU. The two that I want to highlight this evening is the community assessment. That is crucial to any humanitarian project that we do, whether it be small or large, because it provides the framework for identifying solutions that are pertinent to the communities to help solve their problems and help them be sustainable. So assessing the community's strengths, weaknesses, needs, and assets, SWOT, is an essential first step. I can't tell you how important it is to do a community assessment. Another important part of a global grant is the Memorandum of Understanding. The Global Grant Memorandum of Understanding document outlines the responsibilities and expectations. So there's no gray area about who's responsible for what. This helps implement the project and helps outline what the Rotary Foundation is responsible for. This MOU is signed by the sponsoring club or district, host clubs or district, as well as all of the cooperating agencies. There's an example of one that I just did for a global grant that we're doing to Ethiopia. And you can have more than one cooperating agency, but it outlines the project's description, detail, budget and funding, which is very important. Who's putting in the money? Where's the money coming from? The roles and responsibilities. It outlines everything that the host clubs, districts, the foundation is going to be doing to implement this project. Reporting and evaluation. It outlines who's going to be reporting all of the project submissions of the final report and progress reports. I can't tell you how many clubs and districts get bogged down or backed up, I should say, when they don't do their reporting in a timely basis. So reporting and stewardship of the money. Everyone needs to know and operate effectively and efficiently with the funds of the Rotary Foundation. I would like to bring to your attention one global grant scholarship that the application is still open until June 30th. This global grant scholarship funds international graduate level study by people seeking a career in any one of our areas of focus. Please, please, this is an outstanding opportunity, and I encourage you. The deadline is June 30th. We're here to help you. If any of your districts would like to participate, please reach out. It's a great opportunity. There's also been a very successful 5-part series on cultivating successful projects. The final webinar is Thursday, May 18th. You don't need to screenshot any of this. All of this Sandra will share with her follow-up email. But this webinar series, promoting projects, telling your story again, planning a project, how to design it for the best optimal results, finding partners and resources, building that effective team, and then measuring those results, demonstrating your impact. So I encourage you to go to rotary.org webinars/webinars and sign up for that final webinar, but then go back to the other 4 because they truly have been amazing. The final slide is the final slide that Susan will start here shortly, is another important aspect in the successful project in finding your partners. Whether you're working with local or international projects, partnering with organizations can help you leverage your resources, share your expertise, and achieve greater impact. So let's watch this next video and learn how you can make a bigger difference using Rotary Community Core, using district resources and networks, Rotary action groups, which are amazing, and other partners, including Rotary. Susan, if you'll start that video.
Rotary action groups are a great resource because they have the expertise in their various subject matters to support clubs and districts with project implementation and execution.
Across the world, there's so many different action groups. There's one for environmental sustainability. We've got disaster response. We have water and sanitation.
If somebody wants to know how to build a toilet, drill a borehole, implement rainwater harvesting, for example, action groups have the expertise to enable the club to achieve its humanitarian goals.
They are not just Rotarians or Rotaractors. They could be, partners. It could be alumni.
A Rotarian doesn't have to be an expert because they're all at hand.
And when a club wants help, we link them with sources of funding, usually another club, but also to private donors and other foundations.
When you've got this group that has members from around the world in one particular focus, you can have an impact that is huge.
Rotary Community Core is a group of people who are non-Rotarians, but they are sponsored by a Rotary Club.
It involves ownership by the community of the projects rather than ownership by the club. They know what their needs are.
They know the local languages, the local officers, the support systems.
They can be farmers, they can be teachers.
Depending on the kind of project that you're implementing, RCC can be of help in a far-flung area or in the city proper where you are as a Rotary Club.
They help make what happens in Rotary's world more effective.
Dealing with our Rotary Community Core made me a better Rotarian. I learned how to listen, and I was able to connect with the community that we want to serve and we want to make lasting change in.
District resource networks are committees of people with expertise in particular areas.
They can have non-Rotarians participating with them, welcomed, as a matter of fact.
We partner with our churches, government officials, contractors, the people who can bring their talents to fix something that needs to be fixed.
It's the power of Rotary to have this network
that can help clubs create better grants and larger, more sustainable projects.
So the district resource networks
Are like a consulting firm, but instead of spending millions, we can get help from Rotary members and friends, such as Rotary action groups and the cadre of technical advisors.
The ability to tap into the talents from all over the district is a really important thing.
These are also our potential members as well. Once they get involved, they will find interest. They will join Rotary one day.
Large things can be achieved, large programs, projects, only when we partner with other people.
Rotary has partnerships in every area of focus. They offer their expertise and we offer our expertise.
The potential to be as effective as possible is doubled when you start working with other organizations.
The main benefit to them is that they are able to connect with the grassroots because Rotary functions in the communities.
We are much more effective working collaboratively. A great example of that is the partnership that Rotary has with Shelterbox.
To do more sustainably, they need to partner with others. It's a new way of thinking, and it's something we know is the best way to do.
I believe strongly in partnerships. When we join hands, it works wonders.
Good evening, Rotarians. I'm kind of just doing this to transition here. I'm Dave Rao, and I'm the past governor, and I'm the endowment major gifts advisor. And along with me this evening, I have Deborah Lowe, our major gifts officer. The both of us work together, trying to work with individuals that want to give major gifts and also talk to about the endowment fund. So really, what is Rotary's endowment? Have you ever dreamed you could give a gift that would keep giving forever? Endowed funds create a pool of charitable dollars that address the causes you care about and in perpetuity, or in other words, forever. The principle of a contribution to an endowment is never spent, but a portion of these earnings is made available annually for specific program activities. The endowment fund ensures the future of Rotary while enabling Rotarians to leave a legacy of hope for generations to come. Over to you, Deborah.
So what gifts support our endowment fund? I think most of you are probably familiar with bequests, which is obviously a gift that's left in your estate plans, and that can be out of your will. You can name the Rotary Foundation as beneficiary of a life insurance policy. It can be all or part of a retirement plan. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a gift that comes out of your estate. And in many instances, it makes it easier for your heirs to consider other ways to go ahead and fund a bequest. But outright gifts is a great way to support the endowment fund, see your legacy at work now, and then it'll continue in perpetuity. So if you make an outright gift of $25,000 to the endowment fund, you can direct it to any of the areas of focus. You can direct it to endowment fund share, and those spendable earnings will begin to do good now. And something to consider is leaving a bequest and making an outright gift, a blended gift, to the endowment fund to the same area of focus, or to, again, share, or to the World Fund, where that gift will do good now, so you can see the outcome of what you're giving during your lifetime, and then it leaves a tremendous legacy that you can leave and continue the good work of Rotary for generations to come. You can establish a named endowed fund for either an outright gift or a bequest of $25,000 or greater. And that's a really nice way to personalize your gift. You can name that gift with your family name. And if it's a gift to endowment fund share, those spendable earnings that come back as district designated funds actually will show up on a report that the district will see. So forever they'll know that you as a Rotarian wanted to leave an impact and the financial resources for many generations to carry on. And why do we want to raise awareness of our endowment fund? So often, you know, the big focus in encouraging giving is to the annual fund and of course to Polio Plus. But by giving to the endowment fund, you're helping to alleviate some of the pressure from our annual fund. Because again, those spendable earnings are either supplementing by creating district designated funds, or they're helping to support grants in a specific area of focus. And a well-managed endowment sends a really strong message to people that we as an organization have planned for our long-term stability, our fiscal responsibility, and our financial viability. Our endowment fund enhances our prestige and credibility. And this is one of the things that's factored into, we're all familiar with Charity Navigator and how high of a rating Rotary has had for well over a decade. This is one of the factors into it. A strong endowment fund ensures that our organization is going to be here for many generations, continue to do what we're doing today. That's why you hear such a big focus on the 25 by 25 initiative, which is by 2025, we hope to have $2.25 billion in our endowment fund in actuals, which are cash gifts that have come in, and our expectancies, which are our bequest society commitments. And I'll turn that back over to you, Dave.
Yes, so, you know, who can help us raise awareness? Really, the district governors, past governors, incoming governor, and AGs, the foundation, district foundation chairs, and also this one position that we're trying to get all districts to do is appoint an endowment major gift chair. So all these people, we really need their support to help us raise this awareness. And how can you help? If you're a district leader, please appoint someone to that position. I just talked about endowment major gift chair. We have about 7 out of 14 districts in our zone that have appointed this position. and we're going to have more training for these individuals that we haven't done really in the past. So really, if we could have anybody that's on this Zoom this evening that's in that leadership position, help us to make sure we get those positions appointed. And you also can learn more by attending the breakout session that Sandra alluded to earlier that we're going to have in Jacksonville the end of June. And with Trustee Barry Rassin, he's going to basically be in our session helping us open it and talk about different things to do with the endowment and things like that. So, and any referrals you have out there that anybody is asking you about anything to do with endowment or major gifts, please let us know who they are and we'll be happy to follow up with them. And last, reach out to us. We welcome opportunity to share best practices and concepts that will enable you to inspire your club members as well. And I'll pass this back over to Deborah. Sorry for my voice. I got a head cold earlier today. And it's the more I talk, the worse it gets. So I'll pass it back over to Deborah.
Thank you, Dave. And to talk a little bit about how Dave and I work together, I'm referred to as Dave's staff partner. So obviously, a lot of you know me. I've been on staff as the major gift officer for our Zone 34. Now this is my 14th year. But several years ago, the trustees decided that they wanted to have a Rotarian who's regional within Zone 34, who I would work closely with. So Dave and I kind of work as partners, sometimes together, sometimes separately, but our roles are similar, where we're both wanting to work with all of you and work with individuals to really inspire them to support our Rotary Foundation and really educate people on the different ways to give. It goes, as I said, in ways to support the endowment fund. It goes beyond cash gifts. And that's really what we're here for, is to work with you to help structure these gifts. And as Dave said, referrals are always welcome, and we welcome the opportunity to work with you on a district level with people that you know that you refer to us. And we also have in our zone, we have two really specialists, which are our MGI advisors, which stands for Major Gift Initiative Advisors. So they're not specific to our zone, but they just happen, we have two who live here. Pam Russell, who's in District 6930, is a major gift advisor for water and sanitation, and Carl Trelevin, who's based in District 6950, is for economic and community development. And they're really specialists in their assigned area of focus. And they work sometimes with Dave and I. They can work anywhere in the Rotary world. Pretty much they'll work specifically in North America, being that they're based here in the States. So we're tremendous resources to all of you to answer questions, to help provide guidance. And I want to just touch a little bit upon our events. And those of you who have done $1 Million dinners, we have 8 of our 14 districts who have done $1 Million dinners in the past. You realize that when you did those dinners, probably 70 to 80% of the gifts that counted towards your successful $1 Million dinners were in the form of bequests. And that's why they're so important. So it's something that you should talk to your members about. If we have somebody who is a major donor and not a bequest society member, it's a great conversation to have with them. And then also, those who are Paul Harris Society members are also great prospects for becoming major donors, and also great prospects to talk about in supporting the endowment fund. I'm always surprised when I talk to people about the endowment fund on a club level or even a district level, how many people are not familiar with Bequest Society or why our endowment fund is so important. And for those of you who have done $1 Million dinners, is to think about what can you do now that all of you, several years have passed since you had your $1 Million dinner. Certainly, we didn't have very few $1 Million dinners that occurred during COVID. So you can think about what you might want to do now. It can be something, you don't have to do another $1 Million dinner, but you can do something along those lines. I have a district I'm working with that's thinking about doing a governor's ball that's going to bring in all the past and current governor leadership to help promote this. It doesn't have to be specific to major gifts. There's lots of different ways that you can work on this concept. And in some ways, you know, as times have changed, you know, is $1 million dinner even relevant to your district? What would be the most inclusive thing that you can do? Some of your districts have done initiatives where you're just working on Paul Harris Society members. So although not major gifts, it's still something to think about. And certainly Katie can help you on an annual giving level, work on that. And then again, Dave and I can help you with anything related to major gifts or planned gifts. Again, I want to just encourage all of you to create meaningful and memorable moments in how you steward all of your donors in your district. Rotary is great at recognition and all of the pins and the bling, but it really comes down to all of you locally recognizing your most significant donors and asking those donors to work peer-to-peer on a club level to encourage people within their clubs and even within the district to support the Rotary Foundation by talking about their story and why they give. I want to encourage again all of you to please consider registering and attending the upcoming June Zone Seminar in Jacksonville. It'll be great time to see all of you in person and attend our breakout and just learn more about how we can strategize together to support our Rotary Foundation. And so with that, I am going to go ahead and turn this back over to Sandra, and she's going to manage the questions and answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thanks to all of you for such great presentations tonight. If you have questions, please type them in the chat box in caps, and we'll take questions now. I do have a couple of questions. One of them for Katie. Katie, you mentioned a fundraising plan. What elements would you recommend that we include in our fundraising plan? Without going into too much detail, I know that probably could be.
Yeah, we can talk about like who is giving in your community, who is like, what are some strategies that you might get to get more donations, whether it be like having events, like reach out individually, and we can run reports to identify like who has given before and who we should talk to again, and take some strategies that have worked in other districts and share them with you if you haven't tried them before.
Thank you very much. I'm just going through some frequently asked questions that I get. If you have questions, please put them in the chat box. For Deborah. Deborah, it's interesting, you know, we transition discussions from discussions that we may be holding with Rotarians in our districts. When is the appropriate time to get you involved in those discussions, or Dave for that matter?
It would depend on what level the donor is in their understanding. Sometimes I think a really great example I'm going to use is Jim Hink, the District Rotary Foundation Coordinator the DRFC, out of your home district 6960. And Jim has been visiting a lot of clubs. He's been talking a lot about charitable gift annuities, something he's very familiar with. And so he has had people who've expressed an interest in gift annuities, and in turn will introduce them to me, and I'll follow up with them and continue the conversation because it can get a little technical. Sometimes you'll work with somebody who maybe has an interest in a bequest, and it's fairly easy for you to talk with them about becoming a bequest society member. The materials to actually complete the Your Rotary Legacy card are pretty easy. If you're comfortable talking with them about how they can select their designations, you can get that far with it and then turn it over to me, and I would submit that, just follow up to see if they would like to establish a name fund, and then work with them on their recognition. So I think every conversation is different. Sometimes Dave and I will work entirely behind the scenes, give you all the tools that you need to move the gift forward until the donor is actually able to make it. Other times it's really like, hey, could you call this person? They have an interest in a bequest, or they just have an interest in learning more about the foundation.
Okay, great, thank you. Rich, I'm wondering if you can share just a little bit more about how to select members for your district foundation team. How would you go about doing that? And are there some key things that you think are the most important for us to look at?
Certainly, you want to find someone who enthusiastically supports the foundation. And you can actually use the reports to kind of find some people who have quietly supported the foundation over the years in local clubs. You can get recommendations from club presidents who know their clubs and know the people that are in the clubs that support the foundation, either through grants or through volunteering themselves on projects, or people who just are involved in giving. I think those are three good areas to look for.
Thank you very much. Tina, I have a question for you as well. You talked quite a bit about the Memorandum of Understanding. Can you put more than one cooperating organization in it? And then what kinds of things would you include in that MOU?
Absolutely. You can have more than one cooperating agency. Like, for example, the upcoming mission to Ethiopia, we have the hospital as a coordinating partner. We have Alliance for Smiles as the cooperating partner. It outlines what each and every person is going to be doing. So you can add more than one cooperating agency to your Memorandum of Understanding. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, thank you very much. And I don't see any additional questions in the chat, but I do have one general question. And this is a question that comes to me very frequently. I'm not sure if this is Katie or Deborah who would like to answer this, but who should we be in contact with for questions about obtaining award materials, Paul Harris Fellow pins, etc.? Maybe something that we thought might have been ordered and didn't come. Who do we call about that?
Katie, do you want to talk about it from an annual giving, and then I can talk a bit about, well, I'll talk about it from a bequest society part. Normally, when somebody submits a bequest society or Rotary legacy form to the foundation, either directly to them or if they work through me, then it goes to the plan giving department and they will send the recognition directly to the donor. And that's why if there's anything different, usually it's best to just work with me on that. And I can say, okay, we want this to go to the district governor, or we want to go to maybe the club president. The other part also is to find out if the donor wishes to be anonymous. There's different levels of anonymity, and we want to make sure that we honor that also.
And for Paul Harris Fellow recognition, the experts at Rotary and the Rotary Foundation is our support center. This is their phone number, 1-866-9-ROTARY, easy to remember. And as much as I would love to be able to jump in and give more information about when pins are going to be in the mail and like specific details, what I have to do is like call the support center myself and find out and get tracking information, where it's much easier to just talk to my buddies over there. It's like one fewer step.
One thing I'll add too is I get a lot of inquiries, usually from a district leader. They may have gone to a club and somebody in the club says, hey, I'm a major donor, but I never got my PIN. And what happens is when somebody achieves major donor level, regardless of it's level 1 or level 3, when they achieve that through cumulative giving, where they didn't work with myself on their gift, the Rotary Foundation will send them an acknowledgement letter. It comes by email. Sometimes it ends up in a spam folder, but it goes to the donor, and there's a form that they need to complete and send back to Rotary in order to get their recognition. So if they don't send the form back to Rotary, then we think that they don't want recognition. And that's why there's that disconnect. If that happens, they can contact, as Katie said, the support center. There is also a form template that can be used to request that recognition, either the donor or on behalf of the donor. And if you need that, just let me know and I can get that out. I know some of our DRFCs just keep that on hand.
Thank you. 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 Thank you very much. So I want to, in closing, thank everyone for your attendance tonight. I want to thank each of our speakers for your part in this program. I hope the boot camp started to fill in some of the pieces of information that you might be interested in. Hope to see each of you at the Jacksonville Leadership Training Seminar on June 24th and 25th. And I would also encourage you to register for that one final project webinar. When you do register, you're able to view all the remaining ones, so you can go back and look at the entire series. So
Sandra, there's one last question here.
I was just going to say that.
From Leslie. Leslie, there's a club foundation chair can actually run the recognition report through my Rotary, and they can format that in Excel, and they can see who their new major donors are. We just don't have the capability to inform, each club foundation chair every time we have somebody who becomes a major donor or a bequest society member. And if you need help in learning how to run that report, I know Katie will be happy to help you on that one.
And you can also save it as one of your favorites too, so that it comes up. So it's easy to find each time. Thank you very much. That was a good question. Thank you, Barbara, for your comments about reports. Not all of us feel that reports are their love language. So I truly appreciate the people that struggle with them and struggle with finding them. So thank you very much. And thank you, Katie, for all your information about the reports. So looking forward to seeing everyone in Jacksonville. If you do have any questions or anything following this meeting, please feel free to reach out to myself or to any one of our speakers. Additionally, as you close your Zoom session, you'll see a survey come up which has 2 questions. I would encourage you to let us know if you would like additional information about any one of our topics, and if you would like to have a private conversation about your district, we'd be very happy to do that as well. So thank you very much, everyone, and hope you have a good evening.